Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. They finally did it. They designated Russia as a terrorist state. A-OK, and that's coming from NATO. So I don't know if that's gonna be very bad, or wouldn't even matter. Let's see, maybe these guys will explain. This article comes from European Pravda and it is from today, November 21st, 2022. NATO Parliamentary Assembly designates Russia terrorist regime. The NATO Parliamentary Assembly has designated the Russian Federation and its regime as terrorist. The Assembly has adopted a resolution at the annual session in Madrid. And I'm quoting, "Today we will adopt a resolution that calls on all allies to clearly identify the Russian Federation and its current regime as a terrorist organization," end quote, the NATO PA President Gary Cannoli said before the vote. The resolution was adopted unanimously. It also calls for the creation of a special tribunal to hold the regime accountable for horrific war crimes. Well, that's great. Maybe they will use that to other people across the Atlantic as well. No, anyway, let's see what these guys are saying further. And I'm quoting, "We also call on all our governments to take the next steps towards Ukraine's accession to NATO. We have repeatedly stressed that we will not recognize any illegal attempts by Russia to annex sovereign territories of Ukraine," Cannoli added. Ukraine's permanent representative to the NATO PA, Yehor Chernev, noted that the tribunal could make it possible to convict not only the direct perpetrators, the perpetrators of war crimes, but also the top leadership of the Russian Federation. Very fair. I like justice. And I'm quoting again, "The adoption of this resolution is an important political step indeed, that reflects the mood in Western parliamentary circles. I was about to say circus. Yeah, circus, like a clown in a circus. Yeah, the mood. I understand that completely. And therefore influence the leadership of countries in decision making," he wrote on his Facebook page. As previously reported, on October 13th, the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe unanimously adopted a resolution that calls the Russian Federation a terrorist regime. Peace became the first international organization to recognize Russia as a terrorist state. Peace is the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. Some parliaments of European countries, including the Senate of Poland and the lower houses of Czech Parliament, passed a decision to designate Russia a terrorist regime. Yeah, those are the bottom feeders who are at the, how should I put it, the shadow or the shade of the big lion, which is United States of America. So obviously these hyenas are going to be, yes, let's do it, you know, and Russia looking around like, I can smack you guys with one little claw, king, just like that. But anyway, you're at the shade of your weasel boss. Anyway, so Russia is a terrorist state, its government is a terrorist government, its leaders are all terrorists. These guys are going to create another tribunal like the good one from Nuremberg and will dispense again law and justice as they dispensed then. And they will hang the criminals as they did there. The same. Okay, so as long as Russia is as it is, these guys can suck beep. I tell you why. Because they looked back into history and I think they are kind of like sick of the justice that was dispensed by these guys before. The last one was, I think, the justice that was dispensed to Saddam Hussein. But if you come even closer, we get Gaddafi. Can you imagine? It's more than 10 years since they did what they did to Gaddafi. And do not tell me it was the freedom fighters who caught him. Well, if you would like to have an insight on who did what, I direct you to a guy called Vladimirovich, who just spills the beam and tells you exactly how that happened, who got who caught, who grabbed him, who called the guys to come over, and then say, here he is, do whatever you want. Well, he might be lying, but video does not lie, right? Unless they're actors, and I don't think they were. So we'll see what's next, right? I foresee Russia to don't give a fuck about all this masquerade. And remember Slobodan Milosevic, the former president, right? Or what, Serbia, Yugoslavia, however you want to call it. Remember, he just give himself up, turn himself in to the guys in in European International Court of Justice, and in the meantime he died. Anyway, man, they know better. They know history, so they will not obey by any of these kind of decisions made by these guys. You know why? Because it's like this. I would not turn myself in to a judge that's a criminal. I would not. I would fight myself out, or I will just simply don't turn myself in. If you would have a, let's say, the law enforcement being, I'm just giving a scenario here, okay? So the law enforcement criminals, the prosecutors, attorneys criminal, the judges criminals, the court criminal, and they say, hey Emil, we're gonna judge you, gonna come and we set this court here for you, the court hearing is for Monday, blah blah blah, come over. And I'm gonna say, yeah, Red Rover never come over. I would not show up. That would be me, at least, because if you show up over there, you just postpone your bullshit, and you're gonna be the circus of the masses. That's exactly what a guy in 1945 said. I will not be the circus of the masses. After the dead guy saw another guy lynched like an animal in Milano. You know history, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That was history, and that was justice provided by these guys. I can give another example, and that is Ceausescu, the dictator of Romania, the president of Romania at that time. How justice was dispensed to these guys, or dispatched to this guy from some orders, you know what I mean? On the 25th of December 1989. Just watch that tribunal and you tell me what that was. It was like a parking lot tribunal between thieves killing another thief, okay? But they claim they're clean and they dispensed or dispatched justice. So here again, you got what? NATO? NATO is gonna set up a tribunal for Russia? NATO? NATO bombarded illegally Yugoslavia in 1999. That's a war crime. So starting by that, you have no authority. So as maybe you can use my analogy to use it for NATO in this situation. I'm not saying Russia is, you know, saint or anything like that. But as I said, before I, as a thief, show up in court to be judged by other thieves, nah, it's not gonna happen. And these guys in Moscow will not turn themselves in or anything like that. I guarantee you that, 100%. I cut my ear off like Van Gogh. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.